If you're watching this video and you've watched other videos on my channel, you know that one of the things I like to film are train stations and the environments around them. So this is going to be a video in that category, and I live near the Metro North system, so it's relatively easy for me to go and see various stations on this system. And so this video and 3 other videos that'll be in this series, I'm going to take a look at stations along the Hudson River on the Hudson River line in the Hudson Valley. And in previous videos, I've filmed stations on the Metro North system west of the Hudson on the Port Jervis line, and I filmed practically everything in the state of New Jersey. And I've also filmed as part of a video I did on psychiatric hospitals in the New York area, especially north of New York City, up in this region, up in Upper Putnam and Dutchess counties, where there are some of the hospitals. I also filmed some of the train stations at the end of the Harlem line, which is the middle line that runs up through the interior of Westchester, Putnam, and Dutchess counties in New York. And I've also filmed in one video I did of just these 3 big stations in Croton, White Plains, and Stamford, just to give a flavor for all 3 lines east of the Hudson on the Metro North system. So getting back to these stations along the Hudson, very scenic, beautiful area. And where I started this set of videos is at the Bear Mountain Bridge, and I put a red arrow as to where I was standing when I started the video. It's a great way to start the set of videos. So the first video is of the Manitou station, which is a very tiny little station, very rarely stopped at. It's really unique. So it's a little ways north of the Bear Mountain Bridge. And then I went further north and I went to Garrison, Cold Spring. I drove by Breakneck Ridge back and forth looking for it, but you'll see it from the car. And then I went to Beacon, New York. So that's an intro to this and the other videos that I'll be posting. So thanks for watching. I'm here at the Bear Mountain Bridge. It goes over the Hudson River. And this video is going to show some of the train stations along the east side of the river. There used to be train stations that were on the west side of the river too, but now it's just freight. And I hear a freight train coming up the river. We're standing on the eastern shore, and I will get the name of this tributary that's coming into the Hudson. So the freight train will go across this little low trestle. There it is, just coming out underneath the bridge. And when it blows its horn, you can hear it for miles up and down the river. So someday maybe they will restore passenger service to the west side of the river, because there's several towns along the west side that it could serve. Looking this way, it's going through a little tunnel there, I see. Where we're standing, the rail line comes up the east side of the river, but I don't see it down there, so I feel like it has to go through a tunnel on this side. So it's really a dramatic setting. And this is in late March, so it's a nice warm day that is going to help all the trees bud and everything, but then it'll become really a green area. So anyway, I was mentioning where the train is going past is Highland, New York, and then further up is West Point, home of the U.S. Military Academy. And then after that, there's the town of Cornwall, and then Newburgh. So there's a lot of towns along the west side of the river. So if you live over there and you want to take the train into New York City, you got to drive across the river, which a lot of people do, especially in Beacon, New York, which is one of the stations we'll take a look at. So anyway, it's a really scenic drive. You really feel like you're on Route 1 along the Pacific coast when you're on this road. Winds and goes around curves and up and down hills. Very popular road to drive on, really scenic. And it has some areas where you can pull over and take in the view, because it's kind of hard to do when you're driving. So this is a really long train. Looks like a car carrier type train. So the engine is way up there. So anyway, let me just show you a little bit more of the Bear Mountain Bridge. It's just beautiful. It's a suspension bridge. I'll get some of the history on it and I'll walk across it and we'll get some more views from the Bear Mountain Bridge here on the Hudson River in Putnam County, New York. Here's the rail line along the east side of the Hudson. So it really hugs the shoreline and then goes underneath the Bear Mountain Bridge here. And I don't think I'm going to walk out too far. I don't know what it is. I'm just, if they close the bridge, I wouldn't mind walking in the middle of it, but I just don't like being right next to the edge. So I'll admire it from afar here. I think also it's the traffic that goes right by you as you're going by it. Very busy today on a Saturday. And loud. Here's where I'm parked, by the way, parked along the side of the road. A lot of people are here to go on a hike and they want to go up. And somewhere there's a trailhead near here. Someone asked me where it was and I did not know. I have not done this particular hike. And anyway, it's very scenic here. I just came down this steep winding road from up top, Route 9, and then this is like tidal estuaries along the Hudson, and I'm at the little station of Manitou, and I looked at the ridership figures before I came over here, and it said that there were only 3 passengers a day that get on at Manitou going in either direction. So there's a guy sitting there. I wonder if he's going to be one of the 3. My data was from 2018. So it went down during the pandemic and now it's probably back up at the same level. Never gets that many riders, but they have a little station with a little shelter, a little platform, and I don't know whether there are regularly scheduled stops for this train. There have to be a couple, but I just wonder if it's mostly like a flag stop where you have to let the conductor know that you want to get on or get off here. Anyway. And there's the Hudson right there. Some really neat houses here. This is like a modern house right here. I've always wanted to come down here. I used to live in this general area further north. Another station I'll show you coming up. So maybe he knows when the train is. I'll check to see if it's coming soon. Amtrak also goes up the Hudson on this line. So it actually gets a fair amount of train traffic. Doesn't seem like it right now, but you can see it's 2 tracks. We shall see. Well, looking at the schedule for a while, There are a couple of trains that stop here on weekends only. The station of Manitou only appears on the weekend schedule. And there's supposed to be one going north in like 7 or 8 minutes, so we'll wait for that. And that's what this guy must be waiting for. The next train going southbound is not until like 1:30. There's a couple of trains going southbound that stop here in the afternoon. So it's just a limited time of the day on weekends. Gotta be careful. Trains can go pretty high speed in this area. Lots of no trespassing signs. The mail does come here though. It's like an ancient little community from like the 1800s. The mailman came and just turned around. I didn't leave any mail for anybody here. Unless he did it so quickly I didn't even see. Anyway, I have other stations to cover, but we'll wait for the train to come here in Manitou. What a setting. It's not the time of year yet, but in the summer, if you come down here to these marshes, they're just teeming with red-winged blackbirds. They just love being by the water. So I don't see any now. Maybe they're still making their way north from wherever they flew south for the winter. And I feel like I hear the train in the distance, so we'll wait for it to come in. Manitou comes to life here. Even though we're waiting for a train coming from the south, there could be one coming from the north, and there is. I don't think it's supposed to stop. New York State part of Metro North, they still use New Haven line cars and locomotives on this line. They mix it up. And there it goes underneath the Bear Mountain Bridge. Actually, a little barge action going up river. And we wait for the train that's supposed to be here right now. Let's see. A minute or two after the southbound train went by. The gates are going down again. And here comes the northbound train. Making one of its few stops for the week here in Manitou. A lot of cars. 8 cars. Just the last car is where you get on. And somebody's actually getting off. Pretty wild. More people got off. Probably to go hiking. It's a hike just to get up the hill to go on the hike. They were probably at the other end of the train. See if there's any more people that have to get off. We're still holding it. Now we're taking off. This is a rare shot of a train stopping in Manitou. I'm glad I was here for it. As it heads north to the next station we'll be going to, which is going to be Garrison, the next station north. Another cute little hamlet. So let's go take a look.